Fergus Bell held a workshop about social media verification, and he said that he doesn't put his efforts into debunking fake news stories because fact-checking is a time-consuming task, and he'd rather focus on verifying true stories instead. Do you think that this is a common opinion among journalists?
I do think that most newsrooms right now put more effort into trying confirming things that they hope are true and that they would like to use, rather than focusing on the stuff that is clearly fake and spreading. So certainly they're trying to find things that they can use in a newscast or use in an article. And I think that's the normal orientation for a journalist to have. What the challenge that we have today is that there's so much misinformation out there. And if journalists aren't actually taking a vocal role in helping people understand what's true and what's fake, then the fake stuff actually spreads more and isn't being challenged. So I do think newsrooms should think about the fake stuff actually as an opportunity to start telling people about the things they're seeing, explaining them for them, and hopefully getting people to not reshare fake things.
Do you think that debunking can be fun to read?
I think debunking has to be fun in some ways if you're actually going to be effective with it. When something that you're debunking is silly or has a funny element to it, you should adopt that humorous tone in debunking it. The fact is that if all you're doing is kind of spoiling the joke and scolding people all the time, then you're not going to get the kind of engagement that you would get if you actually create a piece of content that is funny, that is shareable, that is enjoyable. So figuring out ways of actually making debunkings interesting on their own as pieces of content is probably one of the biggest challenges we have right now.
I have noticed that on the internet, lots of hoaxes are actually satirical articles mistaken for true articles. Do you think that the internet is making people less able to distinguish one thing from another, and if so, why?
There are definitely a lot of examples of things that are written with a satirical tone or on a satirical website being treated as true by people. It's a frustrating thing when you see that people just completely miss the tone. And I think that because there's so many different types of information circulating, and sometimes a sarcastic tone or a satirical tone doesn't really communicate to people that easily, it's not surprising that happens. But you also have to worry about the side of censorship. Should we start censoring people who do satirical content? No. But I think if folks are actually creating this stuff with the intent of making people believe it so that they will share it, then those are folks that I am interested in trying to limit their effectiveness or even get them shut down.
There is a business behind hoaxes. Fake news websites earn money thanks to ads. In Italy, a blogger tried to fight misinformation by putting out a Twitter campaign against companies whose ads appear on these sites. He did not succeed, in fact, but do you think that this could be a good strategy against misinformation?
Yeah, with fake news websites, they live and die by the traffic they're able to get and by the ability for them to monetize that traffic. So just kind of giving an ethical argument to them isn't really persuasive. I do think you have to figure out a way to turn off the money. So the approach of trying to make advertisers aware that their ads are appearing on sites with fake content is a good approach. I think making ad networks aware of that, and then also making social networks aware that this content is really polluting their streams. Maybe there are ways for them to reduce its effectiveness. So I think going after the money and also making social networks aware of this stuff are probably two good tactics to apply.
Thank you very much.